Well, here we're back on Virtual Pool 4 again. Virtual Pool 4 online. We're back for another match, or a trilogy of matches, in this year's VP4 10 Ball Masters. They're all second round matches. This is the first one that didn't look as if it was going to go ahead, between Ice Age and Sky Bitter, who has just arrived. With about 4 minutes to spare. Sky Bitter is from, that looks like the Philippines, and Ice Age from Australia. So I've never seen, I don't think I've really seen either of these two players playing. So we'll get an idea what sort of standard we're looking at. Race to 14. It's 10 ball, of course, and all banks and combos should be called, and it's winner breaks, and there's no jump queues. And what I was going to do is mention what's to come. We've got this match, which could take anything up to a couple of hours. And we've also got, we'll have a quick look at the bracket if we can get this thing to work. It takes a while to load this. This is how slow it is. Right. So we've got a few matches on schedule. There's one that is set for tomorrow evening at 9 PM British Summer Time, and that's the one between Mr. Bill from the United States and Albinario from Sweden. We also have the match tonight, which is between Mr. Fox and Bedhead, and that's going to kick off at 10 o'clock British Summer Time. And if we move further down, we've got the match, which I think is, well, a couple of days time, and that's going to be at what time? 3 PM between Spectre Dawn and Shaft Tracks. And we have the second match today, which will be between Brain Fell Out and Bankster, and that's due to start at 7 o'clock tonight. So the match to follow that one will be the one that we talked about earlier on, which is the fantastic Mr. Fox against Bedhead. So Sky Bitter is, what, about 300 points in front of Ice Age, and he's going to win out this first rack. Break is dry, 2 over the corner, thin cut in the 1. Be interesting to see, well, I have to make a few assumptions here. The assumption is that the Ice Age is 1400 for a couple of reasons. First of all, like most players, he doesn't play a lot of 10 ball, so that's never a good judge of what standard he's going to play at. And the other thing is, he may well have only played 2 games and lost them. So the ratings are sometimes misleading, probably more misleading in 10 ball. Now it should be the thin safety if we can get this right, get the pace right, and tuck behind that 7 ball. I might be a bit scared of it just in case he pushes it too far, but again, he's being a bit ambitious here. May well just be playing the safety. Well, I think he got that wrong, but he's almost got away with it. I don't know whether there's enough. No, that's too thin. But not a bad safety from Sky Bitter. Of course, the 9 and 10 are locked up, so something's got to be moved there. Well, Ice Age is playing too loose. I mean, it's as if he's under the impression he has to go for every ball and call every ball. He needs to keep it a wee bit tight. Well, that'll be a missed call. But Ice Age, if he doesn't like this position, which he shouldn't, he would put Sky Bitter back in, which he's done, and he snookered on the 7 ball. Now he should be calling that 7 into the corner, and he hasn't called it, and that's never a good sign. A lot of players don't remember that they should be calling a ball in a pocket when they're playing a kick shot. But the 9 and 10 still locked up. Oh well, Sky Bitter will be glad he didn't clip that 10. That would have opened him up. But Ice Age has got that problem. Needs a little chip, and well, I think that might be unlucky. I don't know whether he can see enough of it. Yes, he can. Well, this would be a bonus for Ice Age. That was well played. Just needed the little chip to knock something away, and well, this will give him a wee bit more confidence. 1 rack all. Six ball goes in. No shot in the 1. Let's see if Ice Age calls a pocket again. I mean, he seems very keen to just try and pop balls and stay at the table, but and it's never the right policy. You have to wind it in and find the safeties, and that could well be his downfall as the match goes on. So we should be streaming live to Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. Not that I'm expecting a great big audience for this match. Probably because, like me, most people have never seen these guys play. Now, it's going to be a 3-10 combo called here, I think. Although it's not set perfect, and the 3's slightly behind that 10 ball. He could play the billiard. got it all wrong, but that 10 ball still sitting in a dangerous position, and Sky Bitter's got away with it. Well, the 10 ball has been called just in case. Well, it's going to go this time, and not the cleverest of shots, especially at the pace it was played, and just teeing up the 310 combo for Sky Bitter. Now, this shouldn't be too difficult. That gets Sky Bitter back into the lead, 2 racks to 1. And well, the 1 ball was one that's gone in. The 10 has been knocked in, so it will be respotted. And we've also lost the 6 ball, and the 2 ball goes, as does the 3. And well, if Sky Bitter can get down onto this 4 ball, he's got a good chance to run out here. He needs to find that gap. And well, I don't know whether he can get to that 4. He could maybe try a little bit of bend round it, but I think he's going to cut it to the rail. It's too thin looking. But if he cuts it to the rail, it will, well, he's actually managed to catch it, and that's unlucky if he scratches. He may well have had to, well, in fact I think he did have to bend that around slightly just to make the angle. Now, reverse bank, again, he doesn't look as if he's going to call it. No, he's just going to play safe. Well, Ice Age may well be drawn into that. Now he's going for it in the middle. And these type of shots are going to catch him out at some point. And I think there's enough of the 5 showing. I don't know whether Sky Bitter can pot this and not scratch. He might come off the point of that knuckle there, but he's going to be very dangerously close to the scratch. And there's not a lot he can do with the cue ball because he's quite close to the rail. Yeah, he's hit the point, but it's kept him in play. And this is going to be the first opportunity to open the gap. And it certainly should be now. Just going a wee bit further, but should be okay. So, Ice Age now. Well, it's doubtful whether he's going to change his tact other than just see a ball and call a pocket and try and pot it. But he's going to have to maybe get a bit wiser than that if he's going to survive. And survival now being that he's trailing by 2 and he doesn't want that lead to build up, but he can play a big part in preventing that if he gets to thinking a bit more, and if he doesn't, it's more than likely only get worse. So we've got an awkward situation here. The one ball obviously pots, but it's difficult to see that two ball. He might try and stun onto the 9, although he's not looking at it, or is he? No, he's looking to try and billiard the 10. Well, it's a possibility, but it wasn't really set. Now again, another thing about this, again, these guys may well not be aware of the fact that they've got a minute shot clock, and Ice Age seems to be wanting to race to get things done, and there's plenty of time to get yourself set to play a shot. Sky Bitter calling the bank this time, so it's going to be the 4-9. And provided he can get onto the 5, it's more than likely going to be a 6-10 combo as well to follow. Now he just needs to draw up the table far enough that he's not obscured by the 7, and he should be okay. And that's a mistake, he hasn't got there. Now, can he see the edge of that 6? He looks to be able to, and he's looking for the billiard again. Needs to be a feather thin touch in the 6 though, if he's going to hold. Yeah, it had to be thinner than that, very thin, to make the proper contact with the 10 ball. It's not easy, but it is a chance for Ice Age. Needs to get lucky. I don't think he has. Well, I think from the racks we've seen so far, there is a difference in the level that these two players are going to be playing at. Sky Bitter certainly comes across as being not only the better rated player, but more than likely to pot a few balls and get a run going. And he's now 4-1 in front, so already the alarm bell should be ringing. The point is, with the old saying of being attack's the best form of defence, well, that's fine provided you can back yourself to get something done. Ice Age needs to have a different approach. This business of just calling a ball in a pocket each time is not going to be that fruitful, because you've got to think about position, all part of the process. And it's all part of how you win matches, is by using your head. Well, he's used his head there. That's pretty good. But if I'll tell you one thing, it's not going to be easy to hit this 3 ball. So Sky Bitter is using his head. He's conceded the foul, given ball in hand, but he's pushed the 6 and 8 together, and that's got Ice Age at the table. But how likely is he going to be to run out? Well, he's gone a wee bit too far in the 4, can still cut it. And now the shot is, well, you say not a high standard that's going to scratch. You see, you've got to take evasive action. So I think that there is a gulf in the quality between the two players. Sky Bitter's the one that's using his head immediately by deciding he couldn't get to that 3 ball and deciding to lock up the 6 and 8, and it's justifiable in the fact that he got his reward because he doesn't think that Ice Age is capable of running the table, and he let the cue ball run loose in his last shot, and he was always going to scratch. So there's a learning process that Ice Age is well short on, and there's things that you have to learn in order to construct a run. That's in any game, that's not just 10 ball, that's just the basic process of how you begin to get better at a particular game. You have to get the fundamentals right before you're capable of doing these things, and Ice Age is fairly short on that. Again, in his or her defence, we don't know what age group they are, we don't know how long they played the game, and we don't know whether they really play at all in real life. You know, we don't know what their ability is, but from seeing here, there's well, let's just see how Ice Age goes here. I mean, it's difficult to get on the 2 without colliding with something at the bottom end of the table. Can certainly thin the 1 in from what I can see. Yeah, that's just going to squirt out. Now that wasn't a bad shot. I mean, that was just the right pace to avoid getting into the traffic, and it's given him a shot in the 2. Good afternoon, Albie. Well, this is very tight. It was always going to be very tight, but I think he's got cover. But there is a kick on to get to that 3 up and down the table. Or can he find a gap? Well, he's certainly not going to find any gap there, but he can go up and down the table. Let's look at the line. Somewhere up there, round about that line, not far off it. There's a wee bit of give and take on that. Yeah, he's just going to be narrow. Now the 4 is the awkward one, even with ball in hand, which I'm not sure whether Ice Age is paying attention here, because he may well not even realise he's got ball in hand. You see that? Oh well, he has realised now, and might have a bang at this 10 ball and call it in the middle. No, looking around for options, but there's not an awful lot of options on. But the one thing he has to be sure of, that whatever he does when not potting this 4, he has to try and get things safe. But once again, he's looking to call the 10 ball, trying to cut across it and cut it in. That was a 1 in 1,000 shot, that, but he hasn't got away with it this time. So the lead is 5-1, and that's already a tall order for Ice Age to get back into this, and one way of getting back in is by assistance from his opponent. But the doubts I have is whether Ice Age is going to be capable of actually taking those opportunities. Good afternoon. Well, for any latecomers, we do have a triple header today. This match I thought wasn't going to go ahead. What email? That thing about the email spam is wrong. Steve sent it by accident. Oh, by the way, Tin, are you still there? Have you told Steve that he needs to get that? I mean, that's at least 4 days that's been like that in the lobby. He needs to get that in the banners about the 10 ball, about this tournament, because people aren't able to click the link directly, and they can't be bothered going to the home page to get there. But the link should be in the lobby chat, and it isn't there. It was gone once they did that restart, by the way. So, and that's periodically happened before. The link disappears. Well, why does it take them 4 days to put the link back? That's what I'm asking. Things like that should be taken care of straight away for the customer. So it's now 6-1. God, I thought I was reading that. I was thinking it was Potman. It's Polament. Anyway, Polament, what happened to that clock thing you were supposed to be doing for me? I presume that's been binned a while ago. Yeah, we've got 3 matches today, and the match tonight, we've got another one at 7 o'clock, I think it is. But the one tonight is at 10 o'clock British summer time, so that'll be 11 Swedish time, and that's between Fantastic Mr. Fox and Bedhead, and we'll have that one. Started yawning already. But I hasten to add that this is not going to be like the weekend stream that we did, which was the full 6 hours. This match is looking like it's going to be finished a fair bit. Albi and Bill are set for tomorrow, I believe. Is it tomorrow? 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I think, my time. So I'll have that one as well, because I'm now off the rest of today, of course, and tomorrow and Thursday. So I will have that match. So if you can't watch the stream, or if you can't be there to see it, then you will be able to see it on YouTube. So Sky Bitter is romping away here. Wrong side of the 6, but plenty of room to get down the table and back. Is it tomorrow at 9 PM my time? I knew it was 8 or 9. So that'll be like middle of the afternoon for Bill. So welcome to all the latecomers. Well, while Sky Bitter is, if he misses that 8 ball and slows down, he'll be on the 7. While he's trying to finish this, right, we'll just have a quick look. We'll start from top to bottom, or we'll start from, yes we will. We'll start from top to bottom. We've got Moz set to play Jose again. Their match was reset because Jose doesn't know how to read the time. Bill and Albi are set for tomorrow night, 9 PM British summer time. Acero is set to play Larry in round 3, whenever that's going to be. And Semi-Pro is lying in wait for the winner of the match between Bedhead and Mr. Fox, which is tonight at 10 PM. LS3 is already through. Interchange X and Stubb still haven't arranged anything yet in round 2. Mooncake's in round 3, and he's going to be playing Sergeresh. And then further down we've got Spectre Dawn set to play Shaft Tracks at 3 o'clock a couple of days time, and we have the other match today, which is due to start at 7 o'clock tonight between Brain Fell Out and Bankster. Bankster has been here in the lobby. I'm just wondering if Brain Fell Out will turn up. And then we have, of course, the match that's on at the moment between Sky Bitter and Ice Age. Then Sargo's set to play Jover. Hazard is through now. I haven't found out if Hazard managed to get back into the lobby yesterday, because Popman told me he couldn't. He was trying to log in and it wasn't recognising his password, so I don't know whether he's resolved that situation. As a last resort, I told Popman to tell him to contact support, so I haven't heard anything since. But Hazard's set to play Party Marty, and that's it. So we've got the 3 matches. Once this one's finished, I'm going to be heading off to get my dinner, and then I'll be back. You think his account hacked? When you say hacked again, I didn't know he had it hacked in the first place. That's a bit worrying. Anyway, it's now 7-1 for Sky Bitter, and I think this is just going to be a long, slow death here. We call this a what? Excuse me for yawning, guys, but like I said before, when I get home from work in the afternoon, I usually have something to eat and a nap. I've had the something to eat earlier on, but I haven't had a nap, so the brain tends to want to shut down at this time. Maybe nicotine will help it stay awake. Needs to get some cover. I think he's okay. So the big match is going to be tonight. Bedhead, of course, the winner in his last match against Cobra. It was always going to be a tough match, but he came through it. He sent a message to support. Right, so at least he can follow that instruction. I told him, what I told Popman to do is, first of all, I said, look, tell him to hit the forgot password thing, and that should then get him to reset his password. I don't know whether he tried that, but I was in the lobby another 20 minutes and never heard anything else. I'll tell you the problem I've had with VP4 for a long time, and that was, now bearing in mind that I've only got online installed at the moment, because I'm using that separate VP4 exe, which has just given me the internal browser. Although the internal browser doesn't function fully, it functions well enough for the way I want to use it when I'm streaming. But the problem I had for a long while is that in the full game with the online and offline, whenever I came to online, it would never remember my password to log in. I always had to type in my password. And then I did a Windows repair. I let that, that's actually quite a good little program. I let it run off Major Geeks. I've used it before, years ago, and I used it, and yes, the game login does remember the password, but it's broken. But I did a Windows repair, and then I logged into VP4, hit the little Q chalk thing, and it saved my password again. And it's back to the broken situation again since I've reinstalled this version of online that I'm using at the moment. I've always got to put the password in. But when the game login is working, yes, it does save your password, because I know I got it to work. These are just annoying little bugs that have never ever really been fixed or ever been looked into, because he's been told about it, I know that. Well, Ice Age needs to get on the 6. He's got, I mean, look at this table, there's 4 balls to pot, and all he has to do is go forward enough and come up or draw up the table, one of the two. I was actually very impressed by Miasma in the last rack that I saw. I thought he played very well running out that last rack, and I think, I mean, another thing is, I think Popman was a bit of a numpty in not using his head again. Again, seemed inclined to go for stuff that a lot of the time he shouldn't have been. I never saw all of the match, but what I did see was enough to tell me he wasn't playing it cautious enough. And Miasma played very well in that final rack that he needed to win it. I can't remember whether he broke, but whatever he did, he ran the rack and deserved to win. Yeah, it does remember, but as I say, mine's broken again. And probably if I uninstall this that I've got, not that I want to do that at the moment, I like to use the internal browser for the brackets, but if I uninstall it and then reinstall the full game again, it'll probably still be broken. So it's now 8-1. Ice Age had his chance there, but that's the type of thing that's always going to cause a player of his level that problem. And even getting 4 balls to pot that are all in the open, he's not got the knowledge needed to be able to do that, to be able to move that cue ball where you more or less want it to be. Well, that's the thing. How the thing that puzzled me is he's obviously played a bit of 10 ball, but all the 10 ball he's played, he must have lost a lot of matches, because he's down to a 1200 odd rated player, and he certainly didn't play as a 1200 rated player in that match. So Ice Age has missed a kick, ball in hand for Sky Bitter. Now we'll see a difference here with 6 balls to pot. Or we should see a difference here. He's got the angle on the 4. Now, does he want to just leave it long for the 5, or does he want to go into the top half of the table? Because what he should be doing is going to the top half of the table. But 6 and half a dozen, as long as he can pot a straight 5, he'll have a straight 6. And if he finishes slightly inside the 7 ball, he's got a nice angle to come off the top rail, right side rail, and onto the 10. Now, remember what I said about getting on inside the 7. He's got that wrong. He wanted to be here, because when you're here, it's easy just to go there. So now he's just had to play the draw, and he's got it right. Now, that type of draw there is the one that a lot of players don't get right. You have to just get that cue stick, the tip of it just a fraction below the equator, and let the stun do the work. The stun will give you that sort of little slight draw back, which is all you need to play that shot, and he played that well. And that was 6 balls to be potted, and Sky Bitter done it, and that's the difference between the two. That is the big difference. 6 balls needed potting and he managed to do it. Well, I'll tell you one thing to make a note of, Tin, or get Steve to make a note of. It's time that he fixed the Cowboy ratings, because you've got players at 2,700 where they're gaining and not losing any. They're not gaining and they're not losing any points, which is pointless, if you know what I mean. Players like VP Monster, Tornado Tam, I play them at Cowboy, and if I win a game, I get nothing. If they win a game, they get nothing. And their ratings went up when the Cowboy ratings were broken. They went up to a stupid amount. Now Sky Bitter with a wide open table, a comfortable lead, 9 racks to 1, and around the angles he's going to scratch. Just the pace of that was wrong, but he played it well to get on the 4. So once again, Ice Age with ball in hand, no problem in the table, but the problems will start in how he plays his shots. And this is all about pace. Well, that's come in handy, nudging the 10. Maybe gets a lot of juice into this. Well, he's played that one not too bad either, but he's going to be going up the table. And he's trying to gently knock it in. He's got there. Just 3 more to go to double his contribution to this match. That needs to slow down. See, it's the pace and touch that is lacking in a lot of players, and he's overcut it, and the chance is gone. And that's the same old story. So it's 10-1, and a ball in the break and a shot on the 1. Oh, see you later. Well, you won't be on later. You'll be in your bed for the 3rd match, the big one, later on tonight. Sky Bitter can kick in behind. Again, he's kicked the ball and he's not called a pocket, and again, proof that he doesn't play a lot of 10 ball, because that's something you've just got to get into the habit of doing every time you kick a ball, is just call a pocket, because you never know. Well, this is a tall order to get good on this 5 ball for Sky Bitter. He's looking at the 5. If he gets, well, he's looking to, is he coming down the right side? I think that's the plan. Well, he's certainly got a half decent angle to come back over to the right if he can get this shot correctly played. Well, it worked out fine, but he forgot about the 5 ball. And this is a point that that type of shot there that Ice Age has just played. I mean, natural instinct when you've played the game long enough tells you to do something with the cue ball to avoid scratching. So that is just, just a lack of experience overall in particular types of shot. A lot of players will be like that in real life as well, where they just don't know how to execute certain shots. Evasive action had to be taken on that shot to avoid scratching, and it's like just feeding off the bits and pieces here for Skybitter, because that's what he's done in a fair few racks. The mistake will come from Ice Age, and it's just about using whatever ability that Skybitter's got in order just to pick off what's left, and he's done it pretty well apart from that one. Just got through it a wee bit too much, but can certainly thin it and get distance, and no doubt Ice Age will call the bank, but well, I presume that's what he'll do. Yep. And that's going to bank the wrong pocket, I think. Yep. So it's a gift for Skybitter for 11-1. Things I've mentioned in the past as well, as it depends on how much a player of this game wants to improve their game and whether they want to learn certain shots. Again, it's just a case of coming online, wanting to play a few racks and whatever time you have to spare, but they don't have enough time to invest in ways of improving their game. But this table is well set here. Once Skybitter gets his chance, and that'll be a missed call. And so here's the chance. 2 ball into the right middle, drop down for the 3. Back out into the table for the 5. The 7's at the correct end of the table for that 5 ball, because you just need to go through. And then the 8 ball goes past the 10. Well, that 9 ball's now been nudged, so it may well have to end up being a 9-10 combo. Now this is a wee bit awkward if he wants to try just running through, because he could go dangerously close to the 7. The safest way is to stun the 5 in. You see he's run into the 7, but he's pretty much got away with it. It's never a good idea to let the cue ball run into a ball that's your next ball on, because it can always go pear-shaped. But it's worked out okay. A little soft draw there just to stop the cue ball squirting away, and now he's got the perfect angle to drop onto that 9 to make that combo. That's definitely a ball in the break. And it's going to be a 1-7 combo. But why do that when you can put your opponent in more serious trouble? Once again, I don't think the angle was there to get at that one. So ball in hand for Sky Bitter this time, with everything in the open again. Although that's not worked out well. Yeah, it should be a good match, that one. Now let's see how Ice Age handles this. Again, if you're thinking about what you're doing, got a choice in how you get onto the 4 ball. Well, that's not the way to do it, having to play a 4 onto a 9 combo. You should have been potting that 4 into a different pocket. Because at some point you're going to end up getting really out of shape and having to do silly things like trying to make really extreme thin cuts, and that's how quickly it is to just fall out of shape. The mistake straight away there was potting the 3 and not getting on the 4 into any other pocket other than trying to play a combo. And again, that's just not using your head. Simple as that. Yep, he's going to win a few racks off people, no doubt about that, because he's got a fair bit of common sense about him. Doesn't isn't going for silly shots that he shouldn't be, and he's playing safe when it's the common sense to do it, and that's going to be good enough to give him racks against anyone. And the other important thing is that he's had umpteen chances in these racks, and he's been clearing up pretty much what he's been given. So he's not to be taken lightly. He can pot a ball, and he's got a rough idea of what he's doing, and that's why there's a huge gulf between these two players. I mean, the ratings initially don't give you that sort of judgment, but you only have to have watched the match to see that there's such a big difference in standard between these two players, and it's all down to just experience. That's where it comes. How young or old Ice Age is, we don't know. How seriously they take the game, we don't know. Again, this is a guy, myself talking, who's played this game for years, but that shows you. I mean, Miasma last night, there is no way in this earth that he's a 1200 player at 10 ball. So how he got to that level, I don't know. It could well have been that he's playing players who are of a much higher standard, but not very often. So it's always misleading 10 ball ratings, because neither you nor I play 10 ball in any sort of regular basis at all. Nobody does. And it only ever comes around when we actually play a tournament like this. But certainly Ice Age has not played many games of 10 ball at all. Probably 2 or 3, and that's about it. In a challenge room maybe at one time. So Sky Bitter just waiting on 1, and he probably won't have a long wait. He's just content to wait on that opportunity, which will come. And again, looking at this table, there's not a real problem looking at the way these balls are set. The ability to maneuver that cue ball is what it's all about. Yeah, I needed a bit of luck there. And I don't know whether he can get this thin enough to get away from that 8 ball without hitting it and try and get distance, or whether they can see enough of the 3 to punch it up the table. Yeah, he was trying to tuck in behind the 8 there by stunning onto the 4, but it's still reasonably safe. Well, I would, again, I don't play one pocket, sorry, but I'm assuming that, like 10 ball, if you call a pocket and you smack the ball into that pocket, but it bounces out the pocket, runs around the table and goes back into that pocket, then I presume it's still a legal shot. But you're asking the wrong person. Oh, wait a minute, you're talking about in one pocket, right? I've got you now. I thought you were talking about the game, right? Let me read that again. If you call a ball in one pocket but miss and it goes all around the table, hits another ball and goes in the call pocket, no, it's not a missed call. It's a legal shot. That's the answer to that one. And Skybitter just trying to push that 5 to the rail, just to make things a bit tougher. He's given Ice Age ball in hand, and the plan, of course, is no. But again, I mean, that's trying to stretch the rules one way when it's a simple rule. If you call the ball into a pocket and it bounces off the lampshade and comes down and goes into that pocket, it's still a legal shot. So Ice Age has a chance here. A roll down the rail, nothing to do with the cue ball, but way offline, because again, I think he just wants this over. He's taking no time to set up his shot and just wants out of here. So it will be over, and I'm going to go and take a break, get fed, and get back for the next match, well, which hopefully will go ahead, but there's a chance it won't. There was a chance this one wasn't going to go ahead when Skybitter hadn't arrived. He arrived with 4 minutes to spare, and it was worth getting here because he's going to run out a 14-1 winner. And as I say, he will win racks off people. We've seen enough to prove that he will do that, and it's a comfortable win. And we'll have a look at the bracket again just to remind us, because I've forgotten already. So Skybitter goes through. That will update in the bracket in a second or two. A quick look, and I'll do this refresh thing. Right, so we'll work our way back up the bracket this time. That's the match that's just been completed, and Skybitter is through, and he will play the winner of Sargo and Jover. I hasten to add, Sargo has had a bye. I doubt that match will go ahead. Jover's here. I think he was in the room, but this guy, I don't think he'll show. The next match is going to be Brainfellout and Bankster. Bankster was here earlier today. Brainfellout, I'd be surprised if he shows, so that match might not go ahead anyway. And then, as I say, we've got a match in a couple of days' time between Spectrodon and Shaft Tracks. That's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And Sergresh and Mooncake, they're set. And then if we go up, this is a match that is on later tonight, and that will be between Mr. Fox and Bedhead, and that's going to be 10 o'clock, so that's the one to join the stream if you want to see it. But if you can't make it, then remember, go to YouTube, type in 9ball.com, and that will take you to my channel, and you'll be able to watch the rerun of it anyway. So there's that to look forward to tonight. But I am going to look forward to my dinner, so I'm going to take a break. Thanks guys for your company, thanks for joining, and hopefully you can join later on. I'll be here for this first match, and oh, where are you going to in Scotland? You're certainly not coming up here for the weather, tell you that. Anyway, take care guys, I'll see you again soon.